He thought it was a worthwhile endeavor. I think when he first went, he had a little bit of questions in his mind, but he, was dedicated, duty, honor, country, that the West Point people drill into you, and he was motivated to do a good job. And when he got over there and got into the heat of fighting and all, he did what every soldier does. He supports his own troops and did the best he could for the people that were our allies and so forth. So he was an honorable man, and we miss him dearly. When we first got news that Mike had passed away, I believe I was at school. I can't recall exactly. It was a bit of a shock, and my mother was devastated, and father was devastated, and it was a very tough time, and the family all drew together, and it was I think a good month later that he was, we had the final funeral service before his remains were recovered and all. I believe Nancy's column asked for him to put in a gripe, and he explained the gripe, and I suppose that, I said to myself, this is the way I have gripes. I try to be respectful about the people I'm having a gripe about, but I still try to get the point across. And
Is that the way to
and
reflect on this
that's
letter?
the way Mike was,
Yeah.
and he was respectful, but he still told his tale, the way he wanted to be heard. So, and I think people respect that. So.
Nancy, how did you view this letter when you got it?
I thought it was very positive. What struck me at the very beginning was the formality of it. He was a West Point graduate, and his address was Dear Miss Lynch. And most of the guys just wrote Dear Nancy. I was the cheerleader at home, and that's what struck at first. And then, because this was early on, or spring of 1968, very positive, the worthwhile endeavor that Mark spoke of, and just really laid out how he felt, honest, and just as real as it could be.
It was at the end of February. I got to thinking about him again. It was just come to me, I don't know why, but I've got to find him. Well, little did I know, I realized that I'm about 5 days before the anniversary of his death. So here I am, I'm thinking about him. The next day I go to open my refrigerator, and his paperwork, his license, the whole thing slides off and slides into my hands.
That's where you're storing it, on top of the refrigerator.
Right. That's it. And then I looked at that and I said, okay, that's way too creepy to be a coincidence. Let's try to find out what's going on. Okay, Mike, we're going to the internet again. And that's when I found Nancy's book. The Googling of Mike Masilevich's name linked me with Nancy's book. And then I found Nancy, and then I was able to find the family.
Did you read the letter that Mike had sent him?
Yes, I did. Yes,
What
I did.
What did you think of it? What kind of emotions did that stir in you as you read that and thought about him?
Well, I think that with Mike, you're looking at the emotions of a man 24 years old at the time, going through a war that I don't think any of us truly understood, of our clear objectives and clear goals of what we were after. Vietnam started out for a very good cause, and then wound up in the end of it, lasting way too long, and really letting down the Vietnamese people in the end, because unfortunately, we cut funding, and that was the end of South Vietnam. No, I respected anything that Mike had to say at the time he said it.
And Knock, you would do this all over again. There's nothing in your being that says that what I did was too dangerous. It was the right thing to do.
At that time, I don't know nothing. I like to do something, I do. I don't care everything. Yeah, because I am look like one fish on the table. They can get any time. Yeah, so I can do anything I like. Yeah.
And this was the one thing that you wanted to do.
Yes. I promised myself I would like to bring the ID to Bill after we have best occasion. American government accept my family. Yeah, because I come here empty hand.
I can't begin to imagine what you went through to preserve the license, to get it here, to find us. And there are no words to express how grateful I am. You've made more sacrifices than most people ever do in their lives for people you didn't even know. And to you and your wife, I'm so very grateful, and I'm so very glad that you made it over to the United States.
When Bill called me to let he will bring me to pilot captain to see family, I feel very happy and I cry.
This is the first time with the family. I have not talked to the family until today. With Nancy, we talked on the phone several times, and then we met in Florida because I live in Florida, and she just so happened to be going to Florida, and we met up and exchanged information at Knox House.
And you wonder why these things happen. Sometimes there are no answers. We're just grateful that they have happened this way.